давай. Делаем, скоро. 10 секунд еще, делаем. 5 секунд.
It's gonna be a hard fight. Honestly, it's gonna be. I saw his fight against Bilal. He's good, man. He's good. When he beginning fighting in UFC, he had problem with the wrestling, but now he's improved because I see he training a lot with the wrestlers, with the grapplers, and that's why he's a champion right now, and he's good everywhere.
Islam Makhachev has kicked off his training camp ahead of his clash with Jack Della Maddalena on the upcoming November card. Fight fans are buzzing to watch the Dagestani star step back into the octagon after nearly 10 months away, this time with a second championship belt on the line.
Be quiet, please. I think the manager, he upset because I give information, but this is his deal with UFC. I don't deal with UFC. This is his problem. But we have deal with them. He's gonna fight in Madison Square Garden, and they say.
Chael Sonnen expressed his excitement about seeing Islam Makhachev gear up for a major bout, likely set for New York, against Jack Della Maddalena. He noted that many fans might be overlooking just how competitive this fight could be. While Makhachev often commands attention and respect as one of the most prominent Muslim athletes in sports, Sonnen observed that the real skepticism seemed aimed at the champion himself, which he found unusual, as doubt is more often placed on the challenger.
Islam is headed to Madison Square Garden to fight Jack Della Maddalena, according to Khabib.
We have deal with them. He's gonna fight in Madison Square Garden, and they say yes.
It's a lot closer match than you think it is. We understand Islam. He's the most famous Muslim athlete in the world. He's going for basically a history maker. We don't question him. Jack is the one being questioned. How in the hell you gonna question the guy?
Chael Sonnen also raised concerns about the gamble Makhachev is making by stepping up to the welterweight division. He explained that a loss at 170 pounds could complicate any return to lightweight, especially now that a new title holder reigns there. On the flip side, building momentum from scratch in the welterweight ranks could prove even more challenging. Sonnen suggested that Makhachev's camp appears laser-focused on winning, but might not be fully considering the fallout if the plan backfires.
And what an incredibly difficult position to put Islam in if he loses. Now you're going to have a choice. Are you going to run back to 55, which, by the way, isn't the way you left it? There's a new king. Or do you start reclaiming the ladder at 170? It's an interesting question. Not one that I believe Team Islam is considering. I believe they are expecting to...
On the other hand, Khabib Nurmagomedov shared his view that Islam Makhachev may have only a year or two left in his MMA career. During a press conference, Khabib emphasized the value of stepping away at the right moment, ideally by age 35, before a fighter's prime begins to decline. He cautioned that staying in the sport too long often results in chasing paychecks, taking unnecessary damage, and risking knockouts. Using Makhachev as an example, he said it's far better to retire with dignity and begin a new chapter, even joking that driving for Uber would be preferable to overstaying in the cage.
Maybe my honest in 1.5 to 2 years, because age is gonna be October 34. Nobody gonna be sent. When time comes, they don't ask what's your name. Of course, I finished when I was 32. I don't even begin. Because I have this situation in my life, that's why. But when you become 35, you have to start doing this. Because leave this sport for young guys. Because when you become 35 and you don't finish, somebody gonna finish you. Why? It's better to finish. Why? After 35, you're never gonna be sent. Like people can talk whatever they want. When you pass your prime, you're gonna fight only for money. Like Allah give you 7 years, for example. You finish 40. And last 5 years, you was fight only for money, but they knock you out 10 times. For what? Go and work Uber driver. It's much better to...
Meanwhile, Daniel Cormier weighed in on Khabib's recent comments and stressed the magnitude of Islam Makhachev's upcoming bout. He described Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena as one of the sport's biggest showdowns, set to headline one of the most iconic arenas in the world. For Cormier, this marks a brand new challenge for Islam at welterweight. After a run of dominant performances, the Dagestani champion now has the chance to etch his name in history as a two-division title holder. Cormier also pointed out that this fight isn't just monumental for Makhachev. It's a massive opportunity for Della Maddalena as well. facing one of the sport's elite, who brings both top-tier skills and a global fan base, gives Jack the platform to elevate his own legacy. Elsewhere, Arman Tsarukyan reflected on how much Makhachev has improved since their meeting. He noted that the current version of Islam is far more complete, demonstrating sharper patience, better energy management, and greater confidence in blending all aspects of his game. For Tsarukyan, the most impressive growth isn't only physical, but also in Makhachev's mental and technical maturity. Interview 6. Arman Tsarukyan hinted at the possibility of a future title clash with Ilia Topuria, mentioning that he's still waiting for official word from the UFC. With a bit of humor, he joked that maybe Chael Sonnen knows more about the situation than he does. Tsarukyan suggested that Topuria might be steering clear of the matchup, believing it poses too much risk. In his view, the champion would rather pursue bigger-name, lower-risk fights than defend his title against a dangerous challenger like him.
How much better do you think Islam's gotten since your debut, where you fought him?
Yeah, he improved his striking, very good. His clinch, his cardio. He used to have bad cardio. His cardio way better. And his experience, of course, the most important.
Chael Sonnen also weighed in on Ilia Topuria's future, expressing confidence that the UFC is already moving toward a matchup with Arman Tsarukyan. He didn't frame it as speculation, but rather spoke as though the wheels were already in motion. Sonnen explained that Topuria has a track record of initially dismissing certain fights in public, only to accept them later, so he wasn't surprised by the current chatter. When pressed on how he knew, Sonnen pointed to his friendship with Tsarukyan's wrestling coach, saying the information came from a trusted source close to the camp.
I want to fight for the title. I've been waiting so long, and Chael Sonnen maybe knows something.
How do you know if those conversations about a title fight are ongoing with the UFC?
They didn't tell anything yet to me. So I'm just still waiting, training, and trying to call out Ilia as much as possible.
Yeah, we've seen some of the tweets towards Ilia. They've been funny. I enjoyed the duck video that he did. What do you make of the fact that he says he would rather give up the belt than fight, that he just don't deserve it?
I mean, he feels that he's gonna lose that fight, and it's better to give the belt and then go up or wait when what happened with me, because he knows just I'm a big problem for him, and I'm gonna get his title. He knows that, and he wants to get easy fight with Perry or Gage or with someone, just make money and do defend. But with me, it's gonna be hard for him.
Chael Sonnen believes Ilia Topuria's recent statements are a strong sign that a clash with Arman Tsarukyan is on the horizon. He explained that when Topuria publicly dismisses a potential fight, it's often the earliest indicator that the bout is actually being lined up, a pattern fans have noticed before. Sonnen noted that top fighters often have subtle habits, whether in their fighting style or in how they promote a matchup. Just as some athletes give away their next move with a small tell, Topuria tends to begin the hype process by denying interest. According to Sonnen, the only name Topuria seems to accept without hesitation is Paddy Pimblett.
Illness or even if I'm breaking news to you, then I'm not sharing my opinion. I'm sharing a fact with you. It's Arman versus Ilia. That is 100% the plan.
What makes you so confident, 100% sure it's going to be Arman Tsarukyan getting the shot? I've said that, I'm pretty sure I said I'd eat that hat behind me if his next fight was for a title, just because it seems so grim, Chael.
Sure.
What has changed?
Well, there's a couple things. I mean, first off, I'm obviously coming to you with information that whether I should have or I shouldn't. Secondly, I was the best man in his wedding. His name's Daryl Christian, and he's the wrestling coach of Arman Tsarukyan. Third, I just spoke to Coach Cal. I wanted to come out and I wanted to film Chimaev training, and it turns out that Tsarukyan's...
Chael Sonnen compared Ilia Topuria's approach to the way Anderson Silva used to promote fights. He explained that Silva would often begin by turning down a bout, then eventually agree to it, and later leak news of a possible injury to stir up speculation. In the end, Silva would clear the air and confirm the fight was on. Sonnen suggested that Topuria appears to follow a similar playbook, whether he's doing it intentionally or not.
Your tell also was what Ilia did a week ago, which is said, I don't want to fight. And the greats always, they don't even know they have. They don't even, coaches will break them down. It's the same with technique. A coach will have to break, hey, he slips here before he throws hook. Chuck Liddell had a big thing that he would blink before he threw punches. I'm just sharing, everybody has something that gets them going. Your job is to go find out what it is, but it's not any different in promotion. Ilia's first move for doing a fight is to deny the fight. The only person that he's ever openly said, I'll fight, is Patty. Everybody else that he's getting ready to fight, he denies. It's just his approach.
On the other hand, the upcoming clash between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena has captured the attention of UFC fans and fighters alike. Islam Dilov offered his perspective on the matchup, warning against assuming it will be a straightforward win for Makhachev. While he believes Islam has the skills to get his hand raised, Dilov stressed that the challenge is far tougher than many realize. He highlighted Della Maddalena's striking power and natural size at welterweight as real threats, adding that Makhachev won't have the same physical advantages he enjoyed at lightweight. To succeed, he said, Islam will need to rely on a smart game plan and world-class grappling.
So would always deny the fight. He'd let that run for about 2 weeks. He would then accept the fight. He would let that run for about a month. He would then slip an injury report to the media where you think the fight is off. It's not going to happen. He'd get his run out of that, and then he'd come out and tell everybody I'm fine and it's on. I'm only sharing. That was his system. 100% of his fights, he built the same way. Ilya's not any different whether he knows it about himself or not. But Ilya's first move when he's going to fight a guy, aside from Patty, is to say, I'm not fighting.
Gilbert Burns voiced his support for Islam Makhachev's move to welterweight and welcomed the idea of him facing Jack Della Maddalena. Burns believes 170 pounds could suit Makhachev better, given the difficulty of cutting to lightweight. While he respects Islam as the sport's top pound-for-pound fighter, Burns cautioned that the bout with Della Maddalena could be far closer than many predict. He highlighted Jack's elite training partners, including Alexander Volkanovski and Craig Jones, as key assets in his preparation. Although Burns admitted he hasn't broken down the fight in detail yet, he still views it as a highly competitive matchup.
I think a lot of people think that it's going to be an easy fight for Islam, but I don't think that it's going to be that easy. I think Islam going to win, but I don't think it's going to be an easy fight for him, like everybody thinks. Because Islam is maybe big for lightweight, but he's not big for welterweight.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? That's why I would say, like, I don't know, he don't look for me so big.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's just on pictures or whatever, but actually, you know, I think JDM has a lot more of weight than him. But at the end of the day, I think JDM has better striking, and Islam has for sure the better ground game.
Javier Mendez believes Jack Della Maddalena could present Islam Makhachev with a different kind of challenge than he's faced before. Rather than focusing on Jack's win-loss record, Mendez emphasized his ability to mix up his attacks and remain unpredictable. He noted that Della Maddalena builds his offense with smart timing and well-placed body shots, rather than simply hunting for knockouts. According to Mendez, Makhachev's camp won't be treating this as just another takedown-heavy game plan. They'll need to stay sharp, study Jack's movement closely, and work to create their own openings instead of waiting for them to appear.
Islam is working very hard. He's been saying vocal that he wants to go up to 170. I think he's a big boy. He killed himself to make 55. I think that's the right division for Islam. He just tweeted something after the fight that he'll not vacate the title, and then he vacated the title. I don't know, but probably that was in the negotiation. Yeah, I like him moving up. I proving himself. He's #1 pound for pound right now. It's a good fight. Jack and Islam closer than people think, especially with Jack Della Maddalena doing a lot of training with Volk, with Craig Jones, those guys that kind of back the Islam on that first Volk fight. I think they're going to have a lot of info, a lot of study, a lot of answers. It's closer than people think, this fight. I really like this fight. I don't have time right now. I didn't have time to dig deep a little too much on that fight, but I think it's way closer than people think, and JDM has a clear.
Javier Mendez views the matchup as a high-level clash between two elite competitors, but believes Makhachev's championship mentality will ultimately tip the scales in his favor. He noted that Della Maddalena has yet to face an opponent with Islam's unique blend of fight IQ, precision timing, and composure under pressure. Mendez also dismissed concerns about the move to welterweight, explaining that Islam has spent years training alongside larger athletes and is well prepared to match them physically. He He anticipates a fast-paced, technical battle that will bring out the very best in both fighters.
I think what makes JDM so dangerous, number one, he's unbeaten for quite a while. Yep. He's had quite a long win streak, and the fact that this guy mixes it up extremely well. He goes to the body, to the head. He doesn't just stick head hunting. He mixes it all up. He goes body, punch, boom, and then all of a sudden a kick comes. And with him, his takedown defense is really, really good also. So we are not in a situation where we can think, oh, we're going to go to the ground and we're going to... No, we got to see what he's going to give us, and we have to...
Luke Rockhold described the upcoming bout between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena as both challenging and thrilling. He named Makhachev, Ilia Topuria, and Della Maddalena among his current favorite fighters. While acknowledging that Jack is no slouch in the wrestling department, Rockhold emphasized that Islam's lifelong grappling background gives him a clear advantage in that area. He also noted that Jack's size could play a role, depending on how well Makhachev adapts to the move up to welterweight. Having trained with Islam in the past, Rockhold observed that he appears noticeably bigger now and is curious to see how that physical change impacts his performance.
Islam is a whole different animal than the Jack's ever been involved with. So if that fight does materialize, we're going to see a hell of a fight, and you're going to see Islam perform at an absolute incredible level. And also, the weight is not super big for him either. So he's going to be a fairly decent welterweight. So Islam won't be a small guy. He'll be a decent welterweight if that fight materializes.
Stephen Thompson believes Islam Makhachev's move to welterweight could pose significant challenges because of the division's overall size and strength. He pointed out that many welterweights cut down from well over 205 pounds, which could make things more difficult for Islam. While Jack Della Maddalena might only have a slight height advantage, Thompson feels raw power is the real factor to watch. He praised Makhachev's elite grappling, but noted that Jack has already tested himself against strong wrestlers like Bilal Muhammad. Thompson sees the matchup as a tough test for Islam and hopes the UFC moves forward with booking it.
See him beating JDM to win that welterweight title?
That's a tough fight. That's a very tough fight. It's going to be interesting. I think those are my three favorite fighters in the UFC right now. We go Islam, Topuria, and JDM. He's fun to watch. So, that's going to be a great fight. He's no slouch at wrestling, but you have a guy that's wrestled his whole life and grappled his whole life versus JDM. He's kind of like, he's secondary on that, but you never know. He's a bigger guy. So, we'll see how Islam, how he bulks up and how he looks. He looks a lot bigger than what I remember. I used to train with him forever. So, he's definitely grown. We'll see how he carries the weight.
Robert Whitaker noted that Jack Della Maddalena's physical strength and crisp grappling could create real problems for Islam Makhachev. He highlighted Jack's boxing, particularly his punishing body shots, as a weapon that could disrupt Makhachev's rhythm and make him more hesitant to commit to takedowns. Whitaker suggested that sustained pressure like that has the potential to shift the momentum of the fight in Jack's favor.
Oh man, when you're going up to the welterweight division, those are some big boys. And I know Islam Makhachev walks around fairly heavy, but a lot of these 170s, they walk around real heavy. I'm talking about, over 205, 210 to 215. Some of the guys that I've faced would walk around at that weight. I think the height, I think they might be the same height. I think JD might be a little taller, but when it comes to those guys and their strength, Islam, I think, is going to have a tough time. Now, do I think he could get it done? Yes. I think he's that good of a grappler. But like I said, JDM has faced some of the best welterweight grapplers and wrestlers in the division. Bilal being one of them. I think it's going to be a tough night for him. I would like to see Islam fight Topuria. That's just me. I would love to see that fight happen. But if he comes up, we'll see what the UFC gets behind. And we all know you got to convince the UFC to make it happen. And you do that first by getting on Twitter, shouting it out, and get people talking about it. And that's what Islam did. So we'll see if that fight happens with Jay.
Robert Whitaker also gave his thoughts on Islam Makhachev's move to welterweight, suggesting the change could actually work in Makhachev's favor. He noted that cutting down to 155 pounds has been a difficult process for Islam and believes his strength could translate well at 170. Drawing a comparison to Ilia Topuria's own jump in weight, Whitaker called it the million-dollar question, with fans and fighters alike eager to see how Makhachev performs in a larger division.
JDM beat Islam in your opinion?
I can see the fight playing out very much like it did with Volk.
But Jack's bigger. He's got a different frame. He's a hard dude to try and hold down. I think his jiu-jitsu is very underrated. He has good jiu-jitsu.
We'll give.
Not to mention, Jack has really good hand. If he can works the body, which makes it harder to shoot on. To give is
Robert Whittaker admitted that it's difficult to predict exactly how Islam Makhachev will fare at welterweight, as moving up a division always brings an element of uncertainty. He explained that both the physical and tactical dynamics can shift significantly in a higher weight class. Even so, Whittaker expressed confidence in Makhachev's abilities, saying that Islam can match everything Bilal Muhammad brings to the table, but with an even higher level of skill.
It could kind of have a similar effect to you where he might even be able to perform a little bit better a weight class up.
Maybe. It's I guess that's the $1 million question. That's the question everybody's asking. And that's kind of the question. It's the same situation as Topuria as well. How good is Topuria? But what's he going to look like up weight division? Same with Islam. By all reports, though, the weight cut was really hard for him, like really, really hard. He's super strong for that weight division, which, you know, must translate well to moving up, making it a little bit easy cut. Maybe he gets a little bigger. It's yeah, I'm very that's the $1 million question. Everybody's asking.